We're not out of the woods yet when it comes to rising pump prices. Fuel cost surges yet again after a big-time rollback last week. Tonight's first big number, 8 pesos 65 centavos. That's the increase per liter of diesel. Diesel may not range anywhere from 65 to 68 pesos per liter.
Our second big number, 3 pesos and 40 centavos, a more tempered hike per liter of gasoline. But loading up on gas may damage you as much as 90 pesos per liter.
And lastly, 9 pesos and 40 centavos. That's the additional cost for every liter of kerosene starting tomorrow, March 29. The upward adjustments come as Russia's war on Ukraine rages on, affecting the price of crude in the world market.
Time for today's biggest headlines. I'm Gretchen Ho.
I'm Robbie Alampay. You're watching The Big Story. As price of oil soars yet again, a free ride at the MRT Line 3 could not come with better timing. Commuters will get a reprieve as a train ride will cost nothing until the end of April.
If that's not enough incentive, the newly rehabilitated MRT3 line also boasts of new trains and a smoother ride. But do the improvements mean a possible fare increase? Mon Gualvez with the big story.
There are now long lines reminiscent of pre-pandemic days at the MRT3. This, as a train ride in the rail line, is free until the end of April.
Yung ating rehabilitation ay natapos na. So gusto natin pakita sa ating ridership na ano ba ang bagong MRT3. Tumataas ang gasolina, so with TV planner na konting ayuda rin sa mga riders natin.
Passengers who don't have single journey tickets just need to ask for one at the ticket booth, while those with the beep or stored value cards will have no deductions.
Malaking tipid sa'yo. Sobrang mahal, tumaas na rin yung gas, so malaking tulong.
Ay, sobrang laking tulong po kasi ito po, ang magkano ba yung pamasahe namin every 28 pesos. So laking tulong po. Makakabili na ng bigas. I-maintain lagi kasi mahirap mag-commute, traffic po.
And this time, riding the MRT should be smooth and easy. Builder and maintenance provider Sumitomo fixed the train line and its tracks, as well as the train's air conditioning units, communication and signaling system, power supply, and the overhead catenary system. Prior to this, train speed has been restored to 60 kilometers per hour. MRT3 management is allaying fears that this would cause in an increase in fares.
Wala kaming pinag-uusapang taas. Number one sa atin, serbisyo muna sa publiko.
Aside from the free rides, MRT3 now offers 2 trains with 4 cars unlike the regular 3. With this, they expect passenger volume to increase to 300,000 from the 250,000 daily average.
Upgraded lahat yan, rehabilitated na lahat yan. So ready lahat ang sistema natin from tracks, yung OCS power natin.
The MRT3 typically rakes in more than 2.7 million pesos in revenues daily. But management assures the free rides won't result in the MRT3 getting broke. For News 5, Mon Gualvez, we are One News.
Here to talk about the effect of rising fuel prices on jeepney drivers, we have with us Joseph Martin, the Vice President of Pasang Mazda. Jojo, welcome to the big story. Nakamute pa po yata kayo.
Well, isang magandang gabi sa Robbie at sa ating programang Big Story. Isang magandang gabi po sa lahat ng mga nakikinig at nanonood po sa ating programa.
Jojo, pinag-uusapan ngayon, 8 peso increase na naman. Ano pong paghahanda ng mga transport groups?
Well, actually, Sir Robbie, ito naman ay isang napakalungkot na namang aming kakaharapin bukas. At magkakaroon na naman po tayo ng ating tinatawag na fuel increase sa presyo niyan, most especially sa diesel po na aming ginagamit na panggatong sa pang-araw-araw na halagang 8 pesos po. At ito po yung kinalulungkot ng aming sektor, lalo sa pampublikong sektor ng PUJ. But nevertheless, kami po ay hindi naman nagsasawang makipag-ugnayan po doon sa ahensya ng ating pamahalaan, most especially dito po sa DOTR at LTFRB. Kami po ay nakikipag-ugnayan kay Chairman Delgra na naway ibalik po muna sana yung tinatawag nating provisional increase, Sir Robbie, that was 2018. Actually po, ang pamasahe po ng jeep is 10 pesos na. No? So siguro sa mga pagkakataong ito, at magtulong-tulong muna, yung pong tinatawag nating provisional increase naming piso para maging 10 pesos po ang aming first 4 kilometers na minimum fare. At naway sana naman ito'y tugunan ng ahensya at sa ganung pamamaraan po, ang ating mga tsuper ay kahit papaano meron po kaming panlaban dito sa kinakaharap naming presyo ng produktong petrolyo na nangyayari ngayon.
Okay, so provisional increase ang panawagan. In the meantime, kukumustahin lang po, ito pong Pantawid Pasada program, may natatanggap po bang mga ayuda ang ating mga driver at mga operator?
Well, magandang tanong po yan si Robby, no? About po doon sa Pantawid Pasada program. Although ito po marami na rin po nakaka-receive sa amin, sa aming hanay, most especially sa PUJ, but ito po yung pawang katotohanan na nakakalungkot. Marami pa rin po sa aming hanay na hindi pa rin po nakakakuha nito. Gaya ng nabanggit ng ating ahensya before, na nagkaroon daw kasi ng mga illegal na bentahan ng mga prangkisa before, at ito'y hindi nila ipinagkakaloob kung ang operator ay hindi sa kanya nakapangalan. But although ang ating punto lamang po dito, yung pong pondo na inilabas ng DOTR which is 2.5 billion, ito pong pinagbasihan nila ay yung mga legitimate franchise na existing po ng PUJ. So kami po ay nakikiusap sa LTFRB na naway ito po i-distribute at nang sa gano'n naman po ay mapakinabangan na rin po ng mga ibang operator na although kahit hindi po sila ang nakapangalan sa CPC or prangkisang tinatawag, ay may pagkaloob po ito sa kanila at nang sa ganun po ay magamit ng kanilang mga drivers. Okay. Si Robby, alam mo, sa mahabang panahon, tumakbo ang ahensya ng ating pamahalaan ng LTFRB, hindi ko sinasabi itong administrasyon na to. Maraming administrasyon before na pinayagan naman din po nila ang sell and transfer. Bagkus nagkaroon lamang po ng paghihigpit ngayon, sa mga pagkakataon ngayon, hininto po nila yan. At uulitin ko po, sana may pagkaloob na rin ito kahit hindi po doon sa mga nakapangalang operator, basta as long na mayroon po silang mga legal documents na may papakita na sila na po nagpapatakbo ng pampublikong sasakyan na PUJ.
Okay, maraming salamat po ka Jojo. Jojo Martin po, Vice Presidente ng Pasang Mazda. With fuel prices remaining elevated, another sector is calling for some reprieve. Gretch, what is the IT BPO industry calling for this time?
Robbie, well, the high price of fuel is just one of a host of other factors pushing the BPO space to call for an extension of the hybrid mode of work. This as those located in PEZA sites will be forced to return to on-site work beginning April 1. Camille Samonte has the report.
As the country reverts to having almost no restrictions in place, the usual work setups are starting to go back to normal. But for some IT and BPO employees, going back on site after years of remote work poses several downsides. According to the Inter-Call Center Association of Workers, the on-site work setup endangers the safety of employees as well as their work-life balance. As the shift is expected to cause distress, some BPO employees are considering resigning.
In the early days of our group, this is the exact question. If matutuloy ang pagbabalik sa working on-site on April 1, magre-resign ba kayo? Yes, 155 votes. Undecided, 115 votes. No, 37 votes. Now, this is pretty much a clear percentage of the group sentiments, of BPO employee sentiments.
David of the Alliance of Call Center Workers adds that the work-from-home setup has been working and can possibly be done permanently.
We have proven that work-from-home works, and you know who agrees with us? Our employers, our clients can actually do this permanently as long as there are employees who want to work from home, then yes, they can and they should be allowed to work from home.
And with the rising fuel costs, PEZA Director General Charito B. Plaza pointed out that extending the hybrid work setup can help ease its effects. Around 1.4 million IT and BPO workers are part of PEZA, which means they enjoy tax incentives. The Finance Department said going back on site is not totally required, but those who will choose the work-from-home setup will not be able to acquire these incentives. The IT and Business Process Association of the Philippines already mentioned that there could be a middle ground on the matter.
Everyone has been working on a combination of back in the office and primarily at home. And I think there are certain distinct advantages to having this hybrid work model.
For News 5, Camille Samonte, We Are One News.
These are the other big stories tonight. More local executives pledged their support for the candidacy of VP Leni Robredo, with some analysts saying the Robredo's presidential run is starting to gain momentum. Meanwhile, Alert Level 3 is still up in Taal as the volcano continues to see magmatic unrest after a series of short bursts over the weekend. And some live action in the Oscars after Best Actor winner Will Smith strikes comedian Chris Rock over a joke on wife Jada. These big stories after the break.
Still watching The Big Story. I'm Robbie Alampay.
And I'm Gretchen Ho. Is the tide turning in favor of presidential aspirant Vice President Leni Robredo? Well, an expert says she is hitting her momentum.
This comes as more local officials, even those in Mindanao, are now backing her bid. Ryan Ang has the story.
One of the latest to express support to Robredo is Cavite 4th District Representative Elpidio Barsaga. He is also the president of National Unity Party, which earlier endorsed Ferdinand Marcos Jr. for president.
Alam niya ang suliranin ng marginalized sector sa ating bansa at alam niya kung ano ang mga solusyon na dapat ibigay.
Aside from Barsaga, another NUP member, gubernatorial bet, Congresswoman Juliet Uy of Misamis Oriental, has likewise said that Robredo is her president. Over in Lanao del Sur, some 15 mayors have already endorsed the vice president. They said that Robredo's assistance during the Marawi siege in 2017 was remarkable. Their vice president, however, is Davao City Mayor Sara Duterte. Political analyst Dindo Manhid said Robredo has hit a momentum.
1 month or a little over 1 month actually, it could create a momentum because this endorsement can say that it reflects the different local areas, Mindanao, Southern Luzon, Visayas. Ang katanungan doon, will this be built into a momentum that can turn into a bandwagon to shift support for her?
Manhit also said that the support for Rosa Tandem is becoming more visible.
If that's possible, Robredo, Sara Duterte. Gulat-gulat talaga na sa atin. It's very personality-oriented, not political alliances or parties.
But while Robredo earlier said that she's open to work with whoever wins as vice president candidate, she remains firm that running mate Senator Kiko Pangilinan is her only vice president. For News 5, Ryan Ang,
We are One News.
Along with growing support for Vice President Leni Robredo is the push of many officials for a Robredo-Sara tandem. But Vice Presidential candidate Sara Duterte says she will continue to stand by her running mate. Del De Vera has the details.
Despite the warm Mindanao welcome given to presidential bet Ferdinand Marcos Jr., the growing push for a Robredo-Sara or Rosa tandem seemed to be a thorn in their campaign. This after several Mindanaoan officials endorsed the Rosa tandem over the weekend. Marcos Jr. remained mum on the issue, although recent surveys show a strong vote base for the tandem in Mindanao. But his running mate Mayor Sara Duterte said that while she is thankful for the support, she will continue to campaign for her partner.
I continue to call on everyone na supportahan ang issue ni Bongbong Marcos, and I continue to respect the choices that are made by my family.
This week, the Marcos Duterte tandem is set to go around Mindanao. They already began in General Santos City, where Marcos Jr. had a courtesy call with Mayor Ronel Rivera. Rivera is a member of PDP Laban, but is yet to formally endorse a presidential candidate. From Jensan, the unity team went to Polomolok in South Cotabato, a known bailiwick of Marcos Jr.'s Partido Federal ng Pilipinas. PFP's President Jun Tamayo is also the province's governor. Also present during the rally in Polomolok was Davao City mayoral candidate Baste Duterte.
Hindi pa natin alam, but there are signs no, na nakita natin na PDP Laban nag-release na ng statement na they're supporting BBM. So I hope the President will express his support.
And despite heavy rains, Marcos Jr.'s campaign rally in Coronadal pushed through with thousands attending the event. The unity team also campaigned in North Cotabato, Maguindanao, and Sultan Kudarat. Recall that Maguindanao was one of the areas that Marcos Jr. chose to be included in the recount for his 2016 electoral protest. For News 5, Dale De Vera, we are One News.
For the big story in sports, it was a double victory for the MVP group in the PBA as both the Meralco Bolts and the NLEX Road Warriors were victorious in Game 3 of the quarterfinals. In the first game on Sunday, Meralco's Chris Newsome took charge in the clutch as the Bolts held on for a 101-95 victory against the Magnolia Hotshots. The Bolts took a 2-1 lead in the best-of-5 series, one win away from the finals. Meanwhile, the NLEX Road Warriors pulled out an 86-85 victory against Barangay Ginebra. The Road Warriors kept their 2021 PBA Governors Cup season alive and will look to extend it once more come Wednesday. Catch the most comprehensive coverage of the 2022 elections on One News. One News is now free to view for all Signal and satellite subscribers until May 31. Tune in now to Signal Channel 8 and Satellite Channel 60. Time for another quick break. More of the big stories when we return.
watching The Big Story. I'm Robbie Alampay.
And I'm Gretchen Ho. Taal Volcano had 2 more phreatic explosions on Monday morning as alert level 3 stays following a series of short eruptions over the weekend.
As a result, residents within the 7-kilometer danger zone are being asked to stay in evacuation centers. Marian Enriquez has this report.
As it rumbles over the weekend, Taal Volcano ejected about 1.5 kilometers of plume, prompting authorities to raise its status to alert level 3. Residents from 5 barangays within the volcano's 7-kilometer danger zone have been evacuated. For some, the unrest is reminiscent of the 2020 eruption.
Babago pa nga ulit kaming nakakabangon, tapos ito na ulit. Hindi mawawala po sa amin yung gano'n na matakot ulit at baka bumalik ulit yung nangyari po noong January 12. Pero sana po, hindi na po, ganito na lang po talaga sana.
According to PHIVOX, 2 more phreatomagmatic explosions were recorded in Taal around 9:32 and 9:47 a.m. on Monday morning. But despite the situation and threats of another eruption, some tourists have decided to continue with their trips.
Pasyal-pasyal lang. Pag may saka Monday, kakaunti ang tao.
Kaya?
Oo, kaya na. Yun ang magandang punta. Kanina nakakita ko ng konting usok, pero okay naman.
Some meanwhile carried on with their celebrations.
Birthday kasi ng wife ko. So sayang lang, nakabook na eh. Naisip namin kung pag sumabog ulit, edi alis na kami.
However, business are starting to get affected. This restaurant, despite being far from the 7-kilometer danger zone, has already seen a decrease in customer count.
Dapat ngayon ma'am, puno na kami. Mga ganitong oras, puno na kami. Pero sa ngayon, medyo talagang malaki yung nakabawasan po.
Same with this hotel in Tagaytay, where 30% of their bookings have been rescheduled, while some have already canceled. PHIVOX says no volcanic earthquake has been detected for the past 24 hours, but the volcano still spews plumes. PHIVOX is reminding the public to remain calm and to continue monitoring their advisories. For News 5, Marian Enriquez, we are One News.
This year's Oscars featured shocks, surprises, and a slap.
Thank you to the Academy for...
Deaf family drama Coda notches an historic win with Best Picture. Released by Apple TV Plus, its first ever streaming film to win the biggest prize. Coda director Cian Heder thanked the awarding body for recognizing the film and hope that their win will open doors to more people in the deaf community.
And so it's time to open the door. It's time to welcome in people that have been marginalized and silenced, and I hope that this is the first of many, many films to come.
Sci-fi epic Dune also emerged as the night's big winner, grabbing 6 out of 8 wins, including Best Cinematography. But while many are celebrating their triumph, actors Will Smith may have stolen their thunder. In a stunning moment in live television, Smith strode on stage and slapped presenter comedian Chris Rock. This comes after Rock joked about his wife Jada Pinkett Smith for sporting a shaved head. Jada's earlier revealed that she has alopecia. Shortly after, the actor apologized to the Academy and fellow nominees upon winning his first Oscar.
I want to apologize to the Academy. I want to apologize to all my fellow nominees. Hope the Academy invites me back. Thank you.
The internet, meanwhile, is abuzz whether Rock deserved that slap or Smith went overboard. Some even speculate that it was scripted. Whether or not it was the buzz they wanted, the Oscars definitely hogged the headlines. For News 5, MJ Marfori, we are One News.
That was a shocker. Guy to guy, ikaw, what do you think of that?
I don't know. Nung una reaction ko, lakas ng panga ni Chris Rock. But really, it's an unfortunate event. Took away a lot of luster from what should have been a night of celebration. But, frankly, I'll always frown upon violence for, I can understand wanting to stand up for someone that you love, but there are many ways to to express that as well. All in all, ako, frankly, I'm still reading all the reactions and I'm still thinking my way through it. But it's really left everybody stunned.
That's true. Well, ako naman as a woman, I could understand Will being protective over the wife. And I would love for that as a woman. But there, I think, were better ways to express a protest against what Chris Rock said. Because now I'm seeing headlines calling Will Smith the best smacktor. Now, people's attention are on him slapping Chris Rock instead of the issue, which was about the alopecia, yung sakit ng kanyang wife.
Well, we'll see in the coming days. Maybe in the coming days, we also see some good demonstration of how to handle the fallout from something.
Well, at least we now know what to do when the time comes. Hopefully not. Well, that wraps up today's big story. Catch us again tomorrow at 8 p.m. on Signal Channels 8 and 250.
Please like our Facebook page, One News. For more in-depth analysis, visit our webpage, onenews.ph. Mask on.
Wash hands.
And stay safe, Philippines. I'm Robbie Alampay.
And I'm Gretchen Ho. We are One News. Have a good evening.